YouTube. Hi everybody, welcome to the Pillar Revolution. We're gonna do a quick Pillar Revolution about the numbers they're giving us. I'm still willing to talk about Trump's poop plane revolution, or Trump's poop plane retribution. Trump and Putin's poop plane AI video. I'm still willing to talk about that at any time because I don't think we've done enough talking about that. Still willing to talk about the young Republicans, the 30-something, 1930s something young Republicans racist group chat. I'm willing to talk about anything criticizing Trump and Trump-Putiners right now. But the focus I want to have for this particular live at this moment is to talk about the numbers. To talk about the numbers they're giving us for the people they've killed in Gaza and the numbers they're giving us for the people that showed up to protest against them at the No Kings protests. So, if you think about it, what side they're on, the numbers they're giving us for Gaza are reduced because they don't want people to know how bad they've been. The number they're giving us for the protests, for the No Kings protests, have been reduced because they don't want people to know how mad we are or how many of us we are. And I'll put it this way first about Gaza, because that's more important. They say that they've killed 67,000 people in Gaza. Ralph Nader said about a month ago that he thinks the number, or according to sources that don't get reported in Western media that much, the number is over 600,000. Or a month ago he said over 500,000. A month or two ago he said over 500,000, which at that rate I would put the number, and a likely estimate, at over 600,000. And one thing about getting the hostages back is when they do dig through the rubble to get some of the bodies of the hostages back, they're going to be getting the bodies of a lot of other people back too. And even that one sample of excavating one building full of all the bodies in the rubble is going to give people a metric, a sample to say, hey, they did kill 600. They're going to start finding how many thousands of people they killed in one square block. And they're going to be able to say, look, they've killed hundreds of thousands of people, not 67,000 people, hundreds of thousands of people. And the more information gets out of Gaza, the more food gets into Gaza to save who's left, and the more information that gets out of Gaza to save the soul of humanity, then yeah, it's going to look worse and worse and worse. It's going to be the most shameful thing anyone's ever done. I mean, it is more shameful than the original Holocaust, because we've had 70 years about talking about the original Holocaust, and y'all went ahead and did this anyway. You went ahead and did this Gaza Holocaust anyway. Just like what Trump and the Trump-Putiners is more shameful than the Nazis. For one, because of the same 80 years thing. We've had 80 years of talking shit about the Nazis for you guys to learn not to be Nazis, and you just went ahead and jumped in with both boots. You went ahead and did it anyway. And you're still doing it anyway, even though we've been calling you out for being Nazis for years. You're still doing it, even though you're calling each other Nazis in the young Republican group chat, and J.D. Vance is bragging about it. And it was only a few years ago that J.D. Vance was calling Trump America's Hitler, but we took that as, oh, J.D. Vance is one of the good ones who's calling him out. No, J.D. Vance was endorsing him. That wasn't a caution. That wasn't a warning from J.D. Vance. That was an endorsement from J.D. Vance. They're all fucking Nazis. But the reason they're worse than Nazis is, for one, because of the 80 years thing. We've had 80 years of talking about how bad Nazis are. Hi, Tyrone. Nice to see you. We've had 80 years of talking about Zionazis. Yeah, and Net and YouTube just filtered the word Zionazis, or not Zionists, not Zionists. Spell it either way you like. But Net and YouTube just filtered it to protect Netanyahu. That's what Net and YouTube does, because Net and YouTube is also Nazi. If you're ever protecting a Nazi, you become Nazi. Maybe Net and YouTube isn't the most Nazi platform there is, because Parler and 4chan and Truth Social exist. But Net and YouTube is still mighty Nazi. They don't... Satan Yahoo, they didn't filter that, Satan Yahoo, but Net and YouTube is what I call it, because it's run by Netanyahu, just like TikTok now is. And look at the drastic change in TikTok. Now that they've captured TikTok, our old friend from Oz, now that they've captured TikTok, it's drastically changing. It's going super fascist, super fast. And so that people notice it. And well, that's why people love TikTok in the first place, because it wasn't fascist. You could say it was anti-fascist because it, by resisting the tendency for fascists to take over every single platform, the only real reason TikTok was so powerful. I mean, yeah, it's got a cute name. You know, it's got a great algorithm, I guess. But the thing that's great about its algorithm is it let non-fascists talk to each other. All the fascist platforms, Fashbook, Twitter, um, all these fascist platforms did not let non-fascists talk to each other. All they ever did was put a bunch of fascist and fascist bots on every non-fascist and every human being's channel and make everybody think that the entire world had gone fascist around them. Well, you go to the No Kings protest, like I did the other day, and you see 70,000 American heroes protesting against Trump, and you realize, and you don't see a single cop, and you don't see a single MAGA, you don't see a single infiltrator. And you realize, no, I mean, I knew we were way more numerous than them, but I didn't know we were that much way more numerous than them. And we even had a convention of 16,000 cops here in Denver. Didn't see cop one at the Denver No Kings protest. Saw 50,000 people gathered in one place with signs that were funny, with signs that were angry, but everybody's energy seemed really positive, really peaceful. It was probably the most peaceful gathering I've ever been to. And I've been to Grateful Dead shows, which are extremely peaceful gatherings of people who are super excited to be gathered for the music. This was more peaceful than that, possibly because it had more people there, because there's just this energy of peace being generated. It's more peaceful than being in a park all by yourself and having nothing but the trees and the birds and stuff around you, to have 70,000 American heroes all protesting against Trump. Now, let me talk about the numbers, because my guess was 70 to 100,000 people in Denver. It's not like everybody was there at the same time. People came and went from the protest. The protest itself marched around the city, and according to the Skycam and the local news, filled 12 city blocks. So filling 12 city blocks, that's sidewalk to sidewalk, filling the entire street. Filling 12 city blocks is probably 12 or 24,000 people right there, depending on how many people fit into a city block. Tyrone Khan says, I was surprised ICE didn't show up. They don't have enough ICE. If they gathered all their ICE in the city, I mean, if they got all their ICE in the country into one city, they couldn't have stopped one No Kings protest. I think they said New York City was 400,000. Now, it could have been 2 million. It could have been 4 million. They'll tell you 400,000, just like they'll tell you 67,000 people have been killed in Gaza, or that they've killed. They will tell you that they have killed 67,000 people in Gaza. But they've probably killed 10 times that many, and they're getting away with that lie. They've been getting away with that lie for 2 years. They killed 600,000 people in Gaza. They say 7 million people showed up for the No Kings protest. No, 70 million people probably showed up for the No Kings protest. Like, more people than actually voted for Donald Trump probably showed up for these protests. Let me do the math on this for you. New York City, they're admitting 400,000, okay? But again, could be 2 or 3 million. It could be a million or two in New York City. And LA, same way. Chicago, I think, was almost that big too. Philly looked pretty big, looked about at least as big as Denver or bigger. Well, Denver's not one of the biggest cities in the country. Denver's like 15th or something. Like, it's not really big. But we had what looked like a portion of 1 million people there. 500,000 people, maybe only 1/10 of 1 million people, but at least 70,000. I would say at least 70,000 in Denver, at least 50,000 in Denver. It's hard to estimate. We will get better estimates. I'm literally just throwing numbers out there, but it looked like 40, 50, 60, 70,000, and that there could have been that many more marching around at the time I was trying to count. They claimed 400,000 in New York City. Let's just go on that for a second. If New York City had the biggest No Kings protest and it was 400,000, but they're at 3,000 American cities. Yeah, some of them were 50 people showed up. But if there's, 500 cities where 50 people showed up, that's another 25. What is that? 50 cities? What did I say? If there's 500 cities where 50 people show up? What is that? 250,000 people right there. And then you've got millions of people in the big American cities. Like, it's way more than 7 million. When you just think about it, you can easily count more than 7 million people in your head. Jason Marvel is back. Good morning, Jason Marvel. Jason Marvel says, good morning. I say, good morning, Jason Marvel. And Tyrone Khan says, we have royal family that most don't want. Well, you got rid of one of them, didn't you? The Epstein scandal got one of your if you're UK, the Epstein scandal got Prince Andrew to renounce all his titles recently. YouTube wants to know your toothbrush color. I'm not trying it. But yeah, so there's more than 7 million people showed up at No Kings. Here's another way to put it. The first No Kings protest, this was by all accounts at every single city bigger than the first No Kings protest. The first No Kings protest, the way I heard it, it was 10 million people in America. It was 15 million people worldwide. Now they're backtracking that number. They're like, what do they call it? Ministry of Information in that number. To say, no, it wasn't 10 million people last time. It was 5 million people last time. And now it's up to 7 million. No, it was probably more than 10 million people last time. And they're just taking away half of that to say, well, that was 5 million people. But they admitted it was 10 million people the first time. Now they're saying that the first time was 5 million, and so it's gone up to 7 million. No, the first time it was 10 million, and it's gone up to 20 million or 40 million or more. It's a lot more than 7 million. And how they even come up with a 7 million estimate, I would like to see some, show your work on that. If the No Kings protest, for instance, the No Kings organizers, which you could go to the No Kings website and RSVP for these protests, if they got 7 million RSVPs, I'd believe that. But probably about 5 or 10 times as many people show up as bother to RSVP on the website. Not only that, I went to a protest of about 30 or 50 seniors that was not listed on the No Kings website, which I'm sure there's lots of other organizations besides No Kings that were organizing these protests on the same day, but not included in this count. So first of all, they reduced the numbers of the people they count, just like they reduced the numbers of the people they killed in Gaza. That's just what they do. Secondly, they'll tell us as low a number as they can get away with. But we can start, you can probably these days just ask an AI, hey, count or estimate a count of the number of people at this protest from these images, from these videos. You get a few Skycam videos, and I think you'll find 7 million people in the first 6 American cities you count. Yeah, first 6 or 7, maybe 10 American cities you count. The most populous American cities are the ones with the biggest No Kings protests. Probably themselves get up to 10 million people. And then you count the second tier, places like Denver, that had, maybe 100,000, maybe only 50,000. But you count 200 cities with 50,000 people. That's like 10 million more people right there. So I put the estimate for No Kings in America protest this time, the second No Kings, at 40, 50 million, 60 million. It could be 70 million. It could be more people showed up to protest Trump than showed up to vote for him. That could be an easy estimate to prove, and we can talk about that. Now, it's not going to be as easy to prove how many people they killed in Gaza, but it's probably over 500,000, and they tell us 67,000. Okay, so Ralph Nader quoted organizations that have, done research and done some type of actual assessment of the number of people killed in Gaza, and he said 500,000 about 2 months ago. He was calling out Amy Goodman, who's one of the best reporters we have from Democracy Now! He was saying even Democracy Now! Is repeating their lies that it's only 60,000 or only 50-something thousand at that time. But it's 10 times more than they tell us. Just like the No Kings protest is probably 10 times more than they tell us. So they said 7 million, it's probably 70 million. It could be 100 million. Like, I would not put it past Americans to show up that much in force. And I wouldn't put it past our media and government to try to reduce the numbers. That's all they can do at this point, is try to downplay it. Or, Trump's AI plane pooping on us. I do want to ask you guys this, while there's 11 of you in here. Do you think Trump believes he did that? Do you think Trump believes he announced med beds? Like when he saw a video about it, he didn't realize, oh, that's not me saying that, that's an AI. He thinks he said that. Do you think that Trump thinks he put on a golden crown and flew a plane that said King Trump on it over the No Kings protest and dropped shit on all of us? Do you think he thinks he did that? because he's that stupid and that far gone. Let's just start with that question. Do you think Trump actually thinks he flew his plane? Hey, Outlaw. Hey, man, how's it going today? I'm just talking about how they've killed over 600,000 people in Gaza, so that's not good. But I'm also talking about how we probably had over 60 million people, maybe over 70 million people protesting in the No King's Day. So that is good. But now I'm also asking, do you think Trump believes he pooped? Like Trump believes he actually put on a golden crown and got in a plane and pooped because he saw a video about it. He believes he did it. He's that fucking stupid, fascist, and evil. Tyrone Khan says, yeah, he believes that. He believes he did it. He believes he ushered in med-bed alien technology, and he believes he flew a plane over the protest and dropped poop on us. He believes he did that. We know that he fantasizes about it. If he doesn't think he did it, if he didn't post that video because he thinks he did it, he thinks he flew in a plane with the crown on and pooped on all of us. If he doesn't think he did it, then he posted that video because he fantasizes about doing it. He definitely wants to do it or thinks that's funny or whatever. He definitely believes in that. He definitely believes in it even if he doesn't think he did it. But I think it could go a step further. He could think that he actually did it. He could be asking, who was the Harry Sisson? He could be asking Harry Sisson, the guy that they put in front of the crowd, how long did it take you to get that poop out of your hair? Just like he's got MS-13 on his, he could be that stupid. He could be that, Okay, let's read the comments. Let's see what the chat thinks. Please go ahead and write your comments. I'm not going to go live for as long today as I did before, but I'm not going to do my usual hour-long live. I've already been 16 minutes in. We might do another 15 minutes or so. The royal family that most don't want. Smoking some very nice gelato. Oh, that sounds awesome. Like the stream, please. It helps more people. Yeah. But yeah, Net and YouTube rules here. I should say the obligatory Net and YouTube disclaimer. Please like and comment and like my content and go to my channel. And Net and YouTube doesn't want you to see it. Like Net and YouTube doesn't want you to see it. This is the first time you see me. Net and YouTube does not want you to see it. So congratulations on getting here. I'm thinking it's about 70 million people at the No Kings protest, and they're trying to tell us 7. And I think they killed over 600,000 people in Gaza, and they're trying to tell us 67,000. So there's a pattern here where they're always trying to downplay the numbers by about a factor of 10. And they're getting away with it. All sorts of responsible, good people are repeating the idea that only 7 million people showed up. No, it was like 17 million or 67 million or 77 million. Next time, maybe it'll be 100 million. There's going to be a way in which we don't let them undercount us. Okay, so next time when it's 100 million or 150 million, or when it's every single weekend and it's 4 million on off weekends, and monthly there's a really big one that draws out 80 million people, they're going to start to not be able to lie about the numbers anymore. Just like as people go into Gaza, as they actually excavate some of these buildings, these mass graves and stuff, to get to where they get some of the hostages remains back, they're going to find the remains of hundreds and thousands of other people and be able to say, oh, wait, you guys killed 500,000 people. It's going to come out and it's going to look really, 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 really bad, especially for anybody who's still defending it now. So thank you for stopping the genocide. Thank you for saving Gaza. Thank you for saving America, because you're the one who did it, not the tyrants who started it and benefited from it and prolonged it the whole time. Part of the reason for their genocide was to elect Trump. That he benefited from that is their payback for giving them Jerusalem, for moving the embassy to Jerusalem, which is how Trump started this particular round personally, by moving the embassy to Jerusalem. I mean, not that there hasn't been tensions going on constantly, but Trump escalated it by moving the embassy. Tyrone reminds everybody, like the stream, please. It helps reach more people. Thanks. Let us know where you're watching from. Yeah, leave comments too, because we do need to reach more people. I believe in the pillow revolution. I came up with the term pillow revolution about 20 or 30 years ago. Pillow revolution is a nonviolent revolution. We do a lot of it from bed, as you can tell I'm doing right now. We do a lot of it with inflatable animal costumes in the streets. We do a lot of it by voting. All nonviolent forms of revolution come into the context of pillow revolution, like a pillow fight. There might even be some play fighting, but it's just play fighting. There's no real fighting, right? So nonviolent revolution by which we overthrow every tyrant in the world. It would be rude to start overthrowing tyrants and then leave this country out or leave that country out. We're going to overthrow every tyrant in the world. I call it the Pillar Revolution. Another organizing hashtag is the Church of Judas, because we replace all Christian churches. We're replacing every form of Christianity. Okay? Replacing every form of Christianity. So, can you imagine what that means? We're replacing every form of Christianity because it's all patriarchal. If some of it's not patriarchal, it gets to basically stay. But every patriarchal form of Christianity gets replaced entirely, like entirely replaced. Like we're taking all their resources, we're taking all their buildings, we're taking all their congregations, we're taking all their priests. We're replacing the Christian religion. That's Church of Judas. Check it out. It also ends war and Trumpism. So it's a very effective tool. But check out the Pillar Revolution. Pillar Revolution is very basic, or the Fairy Liberation Front. Fairy Liberation Front is very, very basic and very twisty and complicated and beautiful and variegated. Fairy Liberation Front is for the fairy perspective on overthrowing tyrants to save the planet, to save the rainforests, to save the oceans, to save all the places people typically associate with fairies, the natural world. But I also associate fairies with the digital world and the artistic world, such as the fairy TikTok. TikTok is a fairy, but he's also a robot. Okay, so she's what we call a traditional fairy. Polychrome is the rainbow's daughter, a fairy of the rainbow, the fairy of multicoloredness, Polychrome. Betsy Bobbin is a human from Australia or America, I can't remember. The Rose Princess is also a fairy from Oz. I think Queen Anne So Forth is also a fairy from Oz. And Shaggy Man is from America. He's a human. But I guess maybe he's fairy by now. So that's the thing. The fairy world is all the natural world, all the imaginative world, all the creative world, all the world of music and art and theater. That's all the fairy world. So Fairy Liberation Front for that aspect and stuff. I'm inclined to believe Zateo on Gaza numbers. Well, what does Zateo report? I know Ralph Nader was reporting, and Ralph Nader's talking, he's not just making up numbers. Ralph Nader's reporting numbers from organizations that were reporting 500,000 people, that they killed 500,000 people, probably over 600,000 people in Gaza by now. And the number, you can just do it mathematically and logically. The number they're giving us of 67,000 people is like the number of people whose bodies have been confirmed to have been dead in a hospital. And there aren't even any hospitals anymore, so they can't count, right? But maybe there's still some way of counting in some official capacity. But that official capacity of counting does not include the bodies in the rubble. It does not include all the people that they haven't found yet. And those are probably, realistically, likely 5 or 10 times more than the people they have counted. Just like they just didn't count all the people in the No Kings protest. Wherever they came up with their estimate from, and I'd like to know what their estimate of 7 million is from. Their estimate could have come from the RSVPs on the No Kings website. They may have gotten 5 million RSVPs on the No Kings website. They may have gotten 7 million RSVPs on the No Kings website. And they're like, oh, that's how we know how many people were there. 7 million people RSVP'd. Well, guess what? Most people didn't RSVP. They just went. So they might count it using one rubric or whatever. And you just count it with you just count it by estimating from crowd sizes, from aerial photography, and you're like, oh wait, there was 1 million people at New York City No Kings protest, not 400,000. There was 1 million. There was 1.4 million. There was 2 million in LA. You're gonna add up to above 7 million really fucking quick when you start counting them, and you're probably gonna add up to much above 70 million, maybe much above 7 million, maybe up to 70 million people. 502 Outlaw says, hey man, how's it going today? I think I answered that it's going well in terms of 70-something million people probably protested Trump 2 days ago, but it's going badly as far as they probably killed 700,000 people in Gaza. Just Travel says, you skipped your medications today. I mean, there's an herbal, I recommend some herbal supplements that I have not personally supplemented with yet because I haven't got out of bed, but 502 Outlaw says, could be. Tyrant says 699,000 children without counting adults. So 700,000 kids that they killed in Gaza, not have been killed in Gaza. They say things so passively like they didn't do it. No, they killed 700,000 kids in Gaza, and they've probably killed another 400,000 or 500,000 adults. And it's not worse to kill the kids. It's just, it's everything's worse. It's all worse. And we probably had 70 million people protest at the No Kings protests. And Trump fantasized about flying a plane and dropping poop on all of us, or he thinks he actually did that. That's about as much benefit of the doubt as you can give Trump. Maybe he doesn't think he actually flew the plane with the crown on his head and pooped on all of us, because he might think he did, but he definitely fantasizes about it. It's definitely something he believes in. It's definitely something his fans believe in. Bright leaf. I don't think you deserve to be called bright leaf. You said you're dumb, he made it, it's a metaphor. Okay, so you believe Trump personally made the video of him dumping poop on people, and he doesn't think he did it. I mean, that's giving him some credit. I'm not saying he doesn't deserve that credit. He doesn't deserve credit for stopping the war in Gaza, though. For one, he didn't stop it. For two, he wouldn't have stopped it. If it was up to him, he wouldn't have stopped it. We forced him to stop it to whatever extent he has stopped it. That was us. We did that. You did that. You saved Gaza. So tell somebody else today, thank you for saving Gaza. You know whose page you can post that on, and you're telling the truth. Thank you for saving Gaza. Thank you for stopping the genocide. We need to thank each other for that and take that credit back from the tyrants who caused it, prolonged it, and benefited from it the whole time. We need to stop the genocide. We need to stop the genocide in Gaza. We need to stop the genocide in Ukraine. We need to stop the genocide in America. And we need to stop it, and we need to celebrate the fact that we stopped it, just like we need to celebrate 80 million people at the No Kings protest the other day. We need to stop. We need to celebrate that. We need to duplicate that, and we need to perpetuate that. Keep going deeper, further, bigger, harder, on and on. Just Travel put smiley faces, because let's look at Just Travel's. I can't tell if I can't remember. Is Just Travel a Nazi? You joined 14 years ago and you have 22 subscribers. Those look like the numbers of a Nazi. We had a Nazi in here who had joined only a few months ago, but had 1.4 thousand subscribers. He didn't seem to have any fans in the chat. Net and YouTube. Yeah, Net and YouTube for the ones who run this platform. Just like now it's Trump Talk, because Trump took over TikTok and everybody hates it. And there's going to be a bunch of refugees from TikTok. And we need to rescue TikTok. We need to rescue TikTok from the bottom of the well. In this book, written 111 years ago, the bad guys, King Rugadoo, a bad king, kidnaps TikTok and throws him at the bottom of the well. That's kind of where we're at right now, with a bad king, Netanyahu and Trump and Putin, kidnapping TikTok and compromising. Oh, yeah, 502 Outlaws. So they caught some of my stream at the No Kings event. I remember seeing you come through the No Kings event. The No Kings event in Denver was amazing. There were so many beautiful girls there. It was just so many amazing, funny signs, so many great costumes. There were 20 to 50 inflatriots there, like those inflatable animal costumes, dinosaurs and stuff. There's a big dinosaur thing in Colorado, because we're the place where they found the first Triceratops, I think. Maybe the first T-Rex. I can't remember. 502 Outlaw says he caught some of my stream at the No Kings protest. Tyrone Khan repeats Satan Yahoo. JD Stewart says nope, but I don't know what it's in reference to. Just Travel says, so for Trump didn't vote 77. No. 770 million people definitely didn't vote for Trump, because there's only 350 or 400 million people in the country, and only about half of them vote or less. So no, they don't deflate their numbers. They inflate their numbers. Let's put it that way. They do a 10 times thing. So if they say 70 million people voted for Trump, probably 7 million people voted for Trump. And 70 million people, 80 million, 100 million people voted for Kamala. Just throwing that out there. That's probably what happened. Okay? According to the same dynamic of they're going to tell you 10 times. We're pretty sure they killed over 600,000 or 700,000 people in Gaza. They may have killed over 800,000 or 9. They may have killed over 1 million people in Gaza. But they're telling us 67,000. They're downplaying it by at least a factor of 10. They're telling us 7 million people showed up at the No Kings protest. But it was probably 70 million. They're downplaying it by a factor of 10. But they can't downplay it forever. You know, there's ways of counting. I'm looking forward to seeing some more scientific approaches to counting how many people protested, and seeing the number at 30, 40, 50 million. Okay? Just remember I said that when they get the counts out there. And remember, I'll tell you some other things too, like we replace all their churches. Jesus set Judas aside. Judas isn't responsible for any of the evils that Christianity did. But Jesus set Judas aside outside of Christianity so that he can come back at this time and replace all the churches. And he didn't do any of that stuff. He didn't do the Crusades. He didn't do any of the wars. He didn't do any of the colonies. He didn't do any of the boarding schools. He didn't do any of the abuse against kids or nuns or any of that stuff. He didn't do any of that stuff. Brightleaf says, mass graves, you say? Or something. U-R-E-A. Which I guess I think he thinks he means mass graves, you say? You haven't seen the mass graves? So 2 years into your genocide that you cheered on, you've somehow avoided all the videos and information about the mass graves that Israel's made in Gaza. You've avoided that. And now that I'm telling you, you're dubious. Don't be dubious. Dude, you've been siloed in some genocide shit. You've been genociloed. You look like a cat lady. Well, there's a cat here. Was that your clue? Tyrone Khan says 77 million who messed up. I don't know that many people voted for Trump. Again, maybe 77 million people voted for Trump and they made that mistake. I hope not. But if they did, we can, even Marjorie Taylor Greene's waking up. So if Marjorie Taylor Greene's waking up, you can all wake up. Y'all got twice the brain she has. J.D. Stewart says, oh, really? Brightleaf says, you know, the majority of Palestine never changed hands. What does that even mean? What the Zionist is that? What are you trying to say? So are you on the side of, are you on the Groyper side who killed Charlie Kirk or took the fall for killing Charlie Kirk? Or are you on the Zionist side who's really mad about Charlie Kirk? Or are you on the Charlie Kirk side who realizes that it was from defecting from Zionism that got him? Which side are you on of that? Which branch of the Trump, Putin, Netanyahu terrorist network are you in? Groypers or Zionists? Are you more of a Groyper or a Zionist? If you're a Trump supporter, are you more on the Groyper side or more on the Zionist side? Simple question. 502 Outlaw says, no, thank you. Thank you for stopping the war in Gaza. Thank you for stopping the genocide. You stopped it, 502 Outlaw, and you're welcome. Thank you. No, thank everybody. Go around thanking people. I was going around the No Kings protest. Thank you for saving Mary. Thank you for saving Gaza. I wouldn't necessarily say thank you for saving Gaza to somebody because I'm not trying to make them feel bad if they didn't. But if they had a keffiyeh on or, a Palestinian flag or something, then I would say thank you for saving America. Thank you for saving Gaza because I think it's important. We're the ones who did it. We deserve the credit for that. DeVoy says, LOL, leftist conspiracy. What do you think's a conspiracy? What do you think? There was a bunch of standees? You think people put a bunch of standees up and that they called that the protest? No, people came out. It was not. I made a joke about how there was a magic bus that took 100,000 people to 3,000 cities all in 5 hours. I made a number of jokes about that. My jokes were seen, a couple thousand times on YouTube, on Net and YouTube. Even Net and YouTube showed my jokes about that to about 2,000 people. But it's a joke. It's a joke that a magic bus is taking 1 million people to 50 different protests in one day. That's not physically fucking possible. But that's what they're suggesting we're doing. Taking a bus, the same people. They're saying that they pay people to come out to these protests. And it's the same people, outside agitators. I joked to the seniors when I was with the seniors protest. I was like, they're like, are you from here? And I'm like, well, I like to tell the joke that I'm from Georgia, but I moved out here 20 years ago to infiltrate and look like a local so that when I came out to the No Kings protest, they'd think I was a local. I planned this 20 years ago. I've been living here embedded in the society for 20 years. It's ridiculous. It's everybody coming out because they care. Wait till they see even more people coming out. Wait till people see how big the protest and how fun the protest was in their city. And they're thinking, damn, I didn't go to that. I want to go to that next time. And dude, it's going to be doubling and doubling. And we're already at 50 million. So it's going to be like 100 million next time. It's going to be really hard for them to ignore or lie about the numbers. Okay, let me read the comments. The message was held for review. If y'all could stop, I know sometimes Net and YouTube's just being stupid. This was just J.D. Stewart saying you were wrong and putting a whole bunch of smiley faces laughing emojis, and they hit it. So just, I don't know, just don't be excessive with your emojis or something. I can't tell you all the reasons why Net and YouTube's going to filter your comments, but it breaks up the rhythm of the live to have to go and show filtered comments. So try to avoid having filtered comments. Thank you. Brightleaf says 20, 30 years ago, your theory is bust. I have no idea what you're talking about. Tyrone Khan, but I know that Brightleaf is an idiot, so I feel confirmed in my theory because you're an idiot and you think that it's not true. Tyrone Khan says right wing blind being led by the blind. Yeah, and they love lies. Like they have a steady diet of lies. Brightleaf says LMAI, laughing my ass in. Are you laughing your ass in? Besides, open gay sex can probably cure your fascism. If you guys go out and have gay sex and you're proud of it and you can admit to it and you just start coming to terms with yourself, it'll probably cure your fascism. Secret gay sex seems to make people Nazis. Secret gay sex turned Hegseth into a Nazi. Secret gay sex turned Mike Johnson into a Nazi. Secret gay sex turned J.D. Vance into a Nazi. All this secret gay sex is highly present in a lot of these Nazis. So if you start having open gay sex, if you start admitting that you want to fuck the other guys in the comments or the other guys in your manosphere or your insulibertarian terror cell, if you want to fuck those guys and you just admit it to each other, just show up and say, hey, do we want to fuck each other? And then just do it. Like, and then you'll be openly gay and you won't be a MAGA Trump Putin piece of shit anymore. I mean, I know there's some, just like they get black people to be MAGA or whatever. Pillar revolution. They call it pillar revolution. We can do it from bed. But it would be rude to overthrow Trump and Putin and Netanyahu and then not continue on and overthrow Malay. And, we have to overthrow every tyrant. And they're all conveniently packaged together by Putin. Putin is directly coordinating every single one of these tyrants. Putin directly coordinates Trump. Putin directly coordinates Netanyahu. Putin directly coordinates Malay, Orban, Maloney. Putin directly coordinates all of them. So it's really obvious who the fuck they are. Let's overthrow every single one of them. And we can do it from bed. We can do it by organizing. And it's great to go out in the streets and do it too. I did that myself. I'm not saying bed only. It doesn't have to be. This is my no kings in my bed protest. But no kings in our cities, no kings in our country. Those protesters are important and amazing. It's not just about the message we send to everybody by showing up, because they're trying to avoid getting that message anyway. They're saying 7 million when it was 17 million or 47 million or 77 million. They're trying to downplay it and not get the message anyway. And it is about that message. I'm not saying that it's not important. It is important to get that message out there and to let them know how many people are getting that message out there. 70 million. 70 million people showed up at the No Kings protest the other day. More people than voted for Trump showed up at the protest, and we're going to double that next time. Like, it's getting huge and massive. It's already the biggest protest in American history. And you're going to want to be a part of it next time. I'm so proud and glad that I got to be a part of it this last time and wish I had the first time too. But we're taking over. It's us. We have the numbers. We have the truth on our side. We've got everything on our side, right? And I call it the pillar revolution because, yeah, we can do it from bed. We can do a lot of it from bed like I'm doing right now. We can do a lot of it just by commenting and sharing posts and stuff like that. We can do a lot of it on the internet. We can do a lot of it by making love in bed. Like I said, go have some open gay sex. You don't have to go do it in public, but, go have gay sex that you're proud about that you're going to post on Facebook. I got my ass pounded and it was fantastic. And, and I recommend it to everyone else in my friend group and the young Republicans. And hey, this is a lot more fun than being fascist and, hating ourselves for being gay and then projecting that hate out on everybody else, blaming everybody else for being gay. Like, it's your fault. Like Trump's like, not Trump. Putin is like, there's no gay people in Russia. But he says that because he's super gay and he feels threatened by gay people being there. Like, he might act on his tendencies, It's not true. There are gay people in Russia, but if he has to make a society where everyone's afraid to admit it, then he feels a little more safe. He feels a little more like, oh, he's not so tempted when I ride bareback on my horse. So it's like, y'all are gayer than fuck, right? The only people who are homophobic are secretly gay. Anybody who's not gay has no reason to be homophobic. So you guys are secretly gay, and that makes you homophobic. Just be openly gay. Start hooking up with your other people in your little terrorist cells, like they say Tyler Robinson did. Start doing that and you'll be happy and you'll stop being a bastard and you'll stop inflicting all this pain on everybody else. The voice said pillow fighting. Yeah, pillow fighting. Like Brightleaf says, with what? The religion of DEI. LMA, you're not about to do that. If you're referring to replacing the Christian churches, yeah, go ask your church. Go ask the churches in your neighborhood. Hey, Is this Church of Judas thing really about to replace us? Has Judas been set aside for a special mission by Jesus, and he's now coming back to take our churches? Is that really happening? Because they either know about it and they're hiding it from you, or they don't know about it yet. But as soon as you ask them about it, they'll know about it. It's kind of like when the anthropologist asked the native person, like, hey, how do you feel about stealing? And they're like, what's stealing? And they're like, taking something that doesn't belong to you. And he's like, never thought of it before. It never crossed my mind, but you could do that, This dude is just talking about the same crap Hitler did. Devoy says this dude is the talking about the same crap Hitler did. Yeah, I'm talking about what Hitler talked about because Hitler is the one who coordinated the MAGA movement. I'm criticizing the MAGA movement just like I'm criticizing Hitler. Back to a point I was making earlier. The reason why MAGA Trump Putineers are worse than Nazis is, for one, because we've had 80 years of talking about how bad the Nazis were, and you guys just jumped in with both boots anyway. So you're worse than Nazis because everybody knows how bad Nazis are, and you decide to be Nazis anyway. But you're also worse than Nazis because you're Nazis, you're definitely Nazis, and you're pedophiles, okay? So you're Nazis and pedophiles. I'm sure some Nazis were pedophiles, but they were just as bad as modern-day Trump Putineers. But I don't think every single Nazi was a pedophile and knew that they were protecting a pedophile leader. You guys do, and that makes you pedophiles. Protecting a pedophile leader makes you pedophiles. So you're not only Nazis, which is bad enough. That's a terrible thing to be. I'm not diminishing how bad it is to be a Nazi. I'm just saying you're not only Nazis, but you're Nazi pedophiles. So you're way worse than Nazis. You're way worse than Nazis because we've had 80 years of talking about how bad the Nazis were, and y'all went ahead and did it anyway. So that makes you way worse than Nazis. And then you're way worse than Nazis because you added a whole pedophile layer to it. So you're Nazis and pedophiles and traitors and terrorists. All three of those things are bad in their own way, enough that we need to mention it every single time. So you'll notice in my life, I'll often say, Nazi, pedophile, traitor. Devoy says this dude is talking about the same crap Hitler did. No, J.D. Vance and the Young Republicans are bragging about Hitler in their chat. Okay? They're young Republicans in their 30s. They're 1930s. And it's all on brand for their armband. You're all total fucking Nazis, okay? We don't need to have that debate here. You're a fucking Nazi and a pedophile. You should be ashamed or have way worse consequences than shame. Okay, according to the Bible, I think drowning, okay? So, just so you know, fuck you, you fucking Nazi pedophile pieces of shit. I'm glad 12 of you left there because you know I'm fucking serious. I'm bringing Jesus into this, and Jesus fucking hates you. Jesus hates all y'all motherfuckers. And you can come back to becoming humans again who Jesus can love, but he can't love you the way you are. Fuck you. You need to change what the fuck you are, and you need to do it now. You came to the wrong live to continue being a fucking Trump Putineer. I will motherfucking curse you. But what I'll do instead is I'll remove your curses. I'm a witch, by the way. If you didn't guess, I will remove your curses, and I will curse Putin with them. The last time we did this, y'all lost a bishop. I will remove your curses, and I will curse Netanyahu with them. The last time we did this, y'all lost a fucking war. You ended a genocide. You ended a little special genocide that was so fucking special to you. The last time we did this, we ended the fucking genocide. So I'm going to use your curses. I'm going to use your presence to curse your masters. And you're going to do some good in this life, for once, against your will, against Putin's will. You don't have a will. You have Putin's will. And I'm removing that. I'm taking the curses from you, and I'm cursing Putin with them. So you did some good in this life. Check the news for what happens to Putin next. You did that. You're welcome. Or you were used as a tool. Trolls are just tools. You're all just tools for Putin and Trump and Netanyahu. I can repurpose you and make you a tool for Jesus. But it's going to be to make you the opposite of what the fuck you are now. Antichrist pieces of shit. All right, I'm going to stop reading their comments. I'm getting too riled. Derpy says, DevP says, this dude is talking about the same crap. Did we look at DevP's channel activity? DEV Devoy, DEVOY, joined 12 years ago and has 32 subscribers. So that lets you know he's a Trump Putineer. Everybody hates him. Brightleaf says, you just remove people's rights to free religion. Dude, you ain't got no right to free religion. You've got worship Charlie Kirk. You've got worship Antichrist Charlie Kirk, or you can't work. That's what you guys have. That's what you fucking Nazis have. Pieces of shit. Y'all aren't for religion. You guys only have an Antichrist religion. Jesus doesn't like it. Has a whole ass plan, Judas, check out the hashtag Church of Judas, to replace your religion. It's still religion, and it's open to all the other religions. It's far more diverse and diversely enabling because it's the opposite of Christianity. Christianity was trying to replace religions. This is doing the opposite. This is like, damn, sorry we tried to replace your religion. Sorry we destroyed your language. We're going to fund the projects to bring your language back. We're going to fund the projects we're going to do the reparations. We're going to give all the money from the Catholic Church to the Native Americans. You see how this works? We give all the money from the Mormon Church. Mormon Church, definitely all their money should go to the Native Americans. Catholics, some of it should go to the Native Americans. Some of it should go to other indigenous groups they abused throughout the centuries. We're taking all their money. We're redistributing all of it. We're doing it in a church setting to begin with to show what we can do with billionaires' money and government's money. You guys don't understand. You're not with this, but some people are. I've seen a few likes coming through, so some people fucking get it. Brightleaf says, another bleeding heart authoritarian. No, you're the authoritarians. You're the fascists. All your projections are confessions. All your accusations are confessions. 502 Outlaw retracted a message. I wonder why. Brightleaf says, dude, why did no countries around Gaza want to take their population? Dude, it's a genocide. Israel forced them to help participate in the genocide. Egypt's guilty of genocide. Egypt's not innocent of the genocide. Egypt did the genocide. You did the genocide. Israel did the genocide. Trump did the genocide. MAGA did the genocide. Y'all are all fucking Nazis. That's why we hate you. Like, wake up. Go talk to people someday. Don't be on internet trolling people all the time. Go talk to somebody and find out what the fuck happened. Go to the No Kings protest and get your ass handed to you. No, go to the No Kings protest and become American again. Brightleaf says, is it because every nation around knows that they're like what they're like and doesn't want them? No, that's what you Nazis say because you demonize people that you're against because you're Nazis. You say that. You've been repeating that to each other, but that's not what it's like. It's because Israel told them you can't do it because they're all Israel's bitch, like you, like Trump. You're all Putin's bitch. You're all Israel and Putin's bitch. You're slaves. Even fucking Marjorie Taylor Greene is not a slave to Trump. You're saying right now in this live, you're stupider than goddamn Marjorie Taylor Greene? I mean, I believe it, but you're going to admit that full-chestedly? I'm stupider than Marjorie Taylor Greene. What the fuck? What the fuck is wrong with you? I got a whole ass rap about how shitty Marjorie Taylor Greene is. Here's a little story about Marjorie Taylor Greene and why Trumpers should not be heard or seen. So you stalk Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez? Well, you're going to be an inmate and she's going to be prez. Saw you peeping through the mail slot at AOC's office door. Bitch, if you can read and write, you would know what it's for. Isn't it a federal crime just for raising the flap? I think your wrist needs some handcuffs, not just a slap. You think your dumb ass can debate AOC? If it fell dead in the forest, you couldn't debate a tree. We know that you're wrong by the things that you said. The way Trump and Putin replaced the brains in your head. We all love the brilliant AOC. She makes an impression. We all love President AOC. She makes an impression. We love her because she's like us, not some jealous obsession. The right wishes they had an AOC because she's so awesome. But if you're the closest they've got, does that make you the hot one? Damn, I'm just being sarcastic. Nothing's as ugly and drastic as these racist Congress traitors acting all bombastic. Tyler Kahn, who's a good person. Tyler Kahn, the good person, says, Brightleaf, that's a stupid view. Why should they leave their own homes and land to invaders? Yeah, just moving people is a war crime. Forced displacement is a war crime. That's just the lowest war crime on the list of the war crimes that you guys are cheering on. So you're also responsible for war crimes. I'll remind you, hunting Nazis is a noble profession. We make TV miniseries where everybody gets great ratings for cheering on hunting Nazis for the rest of their lives. Okay? You can be one of these reformed Nazis who joins the Nazi hunters to hunt your fellow compatriots down, to hunt the people that used to be in the Klan with down. Otherwise, your ass gets hunted for being a goddamn Nazi for the rest of your fucking life. I'm just telling you. Brightleaf says, I'm not saying they should Tyrone. I'm asking, why is it the case? Brightleaf says, why did Egypt build several barbed wire guarded walls? I told you, Egypt's doing the genocide with Netanyahu, just like you are. Y'all are genocidal Nazis. We're always going to hate you forever. Egypt will probably get overthrown for this shit. Okay? They got overthrown before and then they got rethrown. Well, they're probably going to get overthrown for this shit. Okay? It's just everybody's been focused on Gaza and not focused on what they can do in their own countries. But it's going to turn to their own countries pretty soon. You're probably going to overthrow Trump over this bullshit. You're probably going to overthrow Keir Starmer and Macron and all these assholes, you're going to overthrow all these motherfuckers for the genocide. And that's what they deserve. And that's what you deserve. And when you're a little minion and we have to come get your shit, and whatever happens to you, nobody gives a flying fuck, but we take your shit to give it to somebody who deserves it, then you're going to wish you hadn't joined this fucking genocide too. And I'm just warning you, you could turn it around right now and save your fucking family and save your house and save your life and save your citizenship and all this shit. But you won't do it because you're a goddamn Nazi, because you care more about Trump than any of that shit. You care more about Trump than you do about your pets. You care more about Trump than you do about your own damn dog. You care more about Putin's dog than you care about your own damn dog. Brightleaf says, because radical Islam, their neighbors know in Palestine. No, you're just a racist. You're just an Islamic phobic racist. No one should ever care what you say. You're a terrible, terrible person, Brightleaf. Let's look at Brightleaf's channel activity. Brightleaf joined 12 years ago and has 0 subscribers. Why are we even talking? Corn Pop 7 says, no kings losers. No kings losers. No, we won. And we're going to keep winning. And y'all are going to be ashamed. And you should be rounded up. Tyrone Khan says, on the day Charlie Kirk was killed. What happened on the day Charlie Kirk was killed? Clayton Rooney says, your logic is invalid. No. What's wrong with my logic? I'll talk to you like you have a point if you think you can say something logical. Tyrone Khan said, hi. Brightly says, why do you have Russian logo for the Kiev front on your book? Dude, this isn't my book. What are you talking about? On your book? This is the book TikTok of Oz. What are you talking about? What's the Russian logo for the Kiev front? Where do you see, point out on the internet where you see the Russian logo for the Kiev front. Where do you see that? Invalid says who, a goon? You think I'm some sort of lumen goon? You think I'm a lumen goon? That's my Christopher Walken impersonation. You think I'm some sort of lumen goon? Lumen goon? You think I'm some sort of lumen goon? Jagged Edge German wine-haired pointers says, you are nuts. Brightly says, Tyrone, you've gone real quiet. Can't even spell quiet. Brightly says, why did Gaza neighbors not accept a single refugee? It's a genocide. They tried to kill everyone there. Israel was like, we got to keep everybody here so we can kill them all. That's what you cheered on. You're a genocidal Nazi piece of shit. Everybody hates you. Tyrone Khan says, busy. Brightly says, but you're typing here. And they can never spell your right. Nazis are always too goddamn stupid to spell your right. Every single fucking time they use the wrong one. There's only 2 ways to spell your. And they always fucking spell it wrong. That's how goddamn stupid they always fucking are. They never once spell your right. If it's supposed to be this way, they spell it the other way. If it's supposed to be that way, they spell it the other way. They never fucking spell your right. That's how you know how fucking stupid they are. Okay, he's a groiper. Brightleaf is a groiper. None, I'm neither a groiper or Zionist. Oh, no, you are a groiper. We know you're a groiper. I know that might be hard to wrap your head around, but all you lot are crazy. No, dude, you're a groiper, okay? You're not going to admit you're a groiper. You're like Tyler Robinson, okay? You're a groiper. We can tell you're a groiper. If you were a Zionist, you would probably have to say you're a Zionist. But you can say you're not one of the other because groipers do the tricky thing. You don't. You're not fooling anybody. You're a goddamn groiper. You should be hunted down. Tyrone Khan says, all groiper, all that Timu, KGB, FBI, all the groiper terrorist cells should be hunted down. Pete Hegseth putting the groiper Pepe on American flag to recruit more groipers for the military should be hunted down. He's a fucking traitor. Wait for it. Military's going to coup. When the military coup happens and we get a military junta up in this bitch, first of all, you aren't going to do shit. None of y'all going to act up. None of y'all are going to go terrorize anybody because the fucking military took it. If Congress did it, y'all probably going to terrorize. If Congress removes Trump, you're probably going to terrorize a little bit. Not as much as you think you will. You'll probably terrorize a little bit and you'll get shut down real fucking fast. Just like, have you seen those MAGA guys trying to yell pro-ICE, pro-Trump shit at the No Kings rally? One of them almost got killed. He almost got himself killed over his dumbass sunglasses and racism. Sean Hanlon says, you think you saved Gaza? Do you have any understanding what's going on in the world around you? No, I don't think Gaza's saved yet, but to the extent it has saved, I did it. Yes, you're welcome. I did it. Or you're mad about it. You wanted the genocide to continue. I can kind of tell by how you wrote that. You're really mad because you wanted the genocide to continue. You're really mad that I saved Gaza. You're really mad that leftists around the world saved Gaza. You're really mad about that, huh? Tyrone Khan says, we definitely raised awareness for Palestine. No, we saved Gaza. It's not completely saved yet, but we've saved whatever's left of it thanks to us. We did that. You did that. Thank you. Not 18 people in here, not 18 fucking Nazi Trumputineers in the chat, but the other two people, the decent people, you did it. Thank you. And be sure to thank someone else that you know saved Gaza because they're not getting the thanks. They're trying to give our credit to the tyrants who caused it. Southpaw. Wow. So all Americans love Trump? No. Stop your nonsense. No. All Americans hate Trump. I guess you're talking to the other people in comments. You think Americans love Trump. No, all Americans hate Trump. Trump did put out an AI video of him pooping on all of us from his plane. We got any more comments here? Damn, we got a lot of comments. Y'all motherfuckers stop writing comments right now. We're not reading any comments after Kai Gilmore says, no, after Kim Marie. Don't write any more comments. This is the last comment we're reading. We're going to read down to this, but I don't have time on this live. This live's getting shut down in like 3 minutes. Kim Marie says, meanwhile, Israelis and Palestinians have been fighting for thousands of years, but you did it. Yeah, not so much. No, I did it. All leftists did it. We did it. Trump caused this branch of the war. Trump moved Jerusalem. Tyrone Calm, I'm not reading any more comments. Brightleaf, I've had lots of beers. Okay, I'm not reading those comments. That's what we're reading down to. I've had lots of beers and Tyrone's comment, and then we're not reading any more comments. I got 2 minutes left to finish reading your damn comments. I didn't realize you'd left so many stupid comments. I'll stop reading the Nazis' comments. Oh, but Little Tim is here. Do you remember the FBI on a meth bender? Cash was changing Tyler's roommate's gender while they helped the Groypers get away. That's what happened. I'm glad you're here, Tim. Sorry I didn't notice you earlier and seeing our little special theme song earlier. Okay. So who says some sort of lumen goon? You are nuts. Tyrone, you've gone real quiet. Why did neighbors? But you're typing here. Neither Zionism is the reason for Charlie. Zionism was the reason for Charlie's tragic death. Tyrone Khan says, Zionism was the reason for Charlie's tragic death. Sean Hamlin says, you think we saved Gaza? Do you have any understanding what's going around you? Tyrone Khan says, we definitely raised awareness Palestine in the world. Southpaw says, wow, you're all Americans love Trump. No, that's where we left off. Brightleaf says, I want to go back to this mass grave point. I said the vast majority of Palestinians never change hands. A lot of it controlled it even when they did. Why do you want to go back to the mass grave point? You're the one denying the mass graves. Like, do some investigation before you bring up the mass graves that you don't believe in. Tyrone Khan says IDF. James Edwards says it was 7 million, not 70 million. No, it was about 70 million. Just like it's about 700,000 people that you killed in Gaza. Brightleaf says, very long, so as how you dug up the mass graves, did it occur to Israeli occupied territory? Is so why did Israel allow it? Israel made the mass graves. Israel made the mass graves. I don't know what you're talking about. Tyrone Khan says, gruffing in the rough. Tektite, a new challenger approaches, says, think the updated, it was closer to 8.2 million. Dude, they haven't updated the number enough. It's closer to 40 million. It's closer to 80 million. Like, and it's going to be even more next time. Wait. Tyrone Khan says, you can do it by liking the stream. Thank you. Hashtag 5050 says, Lindsey Graham and Mike Johnson definitely untrue to themselves. Exactly. If they just had open gay sex, it would cure their fascism. Hashtag 5050. In failures, they had a blueprint to follow from. They got Miller leading the way. And they didn't succeed in their genocide, and they didn't succeed in stopping the protests. Look out for me, please, Euless. I will look out for you, Tyrone. Please come back soon. Brightly says IDF controlled territories. IDF controlled territories. You don't even know what the fuck you're talking about. We don't need to read your comments anymore. Mr. Turtle Duck says, thank you for stopping the war. Thank you for stopping the war, Mr. Turtle Duck. Thank you for saving Gaza. Thank you for saving America. Travis Brothers, did you paint blue and yellow together? Yes. Little Tim says something about Jewish people. David says God's chosen nation. Little Tim says God sent them Jesus. But the Romans killed Jesus. Let's keep that in mind. I can't do, sorry, Palestine are God's real chosen people. Well, Palestine is Jesus' family, right? Sorry if I missed any good comments. Rubricated nonsense. They care more about Trump than their own family. Yes, rubricated nonsense. That is a good comment. I'm glad I got to that one. We should probably leave on that. Thanks, everybody. See you next time. You can read the comments in the replay of the chat. I mean, the replay of the live.